Right, so at the minute I've got my poison spider wraith and I've just swapped out the gearing and the pinion. So there's a stock 80 and 20 pinion, so that's what I've just took out, and they've just been replaced for the 87 spur and a 13 pinion. I just want to gear it down and make it really torquey, but without losing as much speed, if you will. So hopefully it'll still run as quick as it did. It's on a Crawler edition 35 HPI motor, and that's brush system in there. So at the minute, once it's back together, I'll give it a little test out. So I'll get this back together, and also I want to relocate my battery tray from the rear and get it up front and get all that weight up front, as I've done with this one. This is my other poison spider. Now I ended up with two of these because I bought one, originally wanting it as a rock racer, and then it come down to practicalities of there's nowhere really to race them or have that kind of fun where I live. So I kind of turned it into a trail rig, and I was itching for that rock racer type thing again. So I ended up with another, and this I've chopped the back off, done the fastback conversion, removed the battery up front and stuff, and this now will be getting geared down because I don't want it as a rock racer no more, because like I said, there's nowhere to run them quick. So I'm going to gear this really down and probably try and have this specifically for a rock crawler, and probably chop away more of the rear, lose a bit more weight up that back end. So that's another job. It crawls real nice. Top heaviness. But as you can see, it just crawled without losing or having to gain any speed or anything. It just climbed up the door. So this is now running the HPI 35 turn brush motor, an 87 spur and a 13 pinion. So it's geared really torquey. I might do away with this panhard thing. I like the servo light being mounted up, but I don't know if I like it. So now the gears are done and we know that's working alright. I just took out the battery tray from the rear, and then at the front here I just took the electrics out just so I've got access to get the battery tray in at the minute, because I'm probably going to have to move the ESC from there and possibly put it up in the front somewhere. I'll see what room I've got in a minute. So I took the battery tray out. So now we are going to be required to cut one side off, so when it's in we can still get the battery in. And using the existing hole on the receiver bracket for the receiver box down here, if you look on the bottom of the battery tray, there's a few holes, so we can just nut and bolt that with an M2, M3 screw and just bolt that to that hole in there. And for now I'll probably just use a couple of cable ties just to bracket the top at either side, just so that it sits in nice and firm. And also, while I was doing this, I have had to just, you see, just cut the bottom. It was back here, but you just need to cut that so you can fold that back. so then the battery tray can just sit in there nicely. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut the top of the battery tray off and then get that fitted in the Wraith, and then that's another job down for this. So battery mod and new gearing, and then that'll be all for this Wraith for today. So that's trimmed up. Let's just see if the battery will go in. So just move that out of the way. That will be sat a little bit further back once these wires are out of the way, but I just want to see if the battery will go in. Lovely jubbly. Awesome. And it all fits. So let's take this out and screw that to there, neaten it up a bit, relocate my ESC, and job done. So we've come to a little issue. Not much, it's just the receiver box. So if we take a look here, the receiver box fits alright. It's just this that goes on to seal your receiver box, that overhangs into the battery underneath. So a little mod, and we're just going to chop away the top of it, and then I'll have to pack that up with grease. Or just hot glue it in there for now, just to seal the receiver box here. And then that is all.